and we've totally
Well,
moved into cardio.
this is all rest, like because
Okay.
here's another piece, right? So we're talking about rest in the workout sense, but this high intensity interval training, like I mean, it's kind of died off a little bit. I wouldn't say it's as, and maybe that's just me personally, and I have less regard for it. But so what happens with a lot of high intensity interval training, right? And so let's call it 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off of like actual hard work. I'm doing ropes. I am maybe doing burpees. Maybe
Bike
I'm
sprints.
whatever, right? But
I
30
mean,
seconds
like,
hard, 30 seconds rest. If I do a hard 30 seconds rest is a very, very incomplete recovery, meaning my heart rate is still redlining and I am then getting into my next set afterwards. So what happens to a lot of people that are doing what they think is interval training, and interval training means highs and lows of heart rate. We should see spikes, right? Is they're really actually doing continuous, really hard aerobic training. So they just get their heart rate up and then they keep it there, right? Which is a really weird zone to be in because it's just not having the same impact. Because it's not hard enough to really get you an impact on VO2. And it's not easy enough for us to have a big impact on our resting heart rate and things like that. It's just in like this weird,
you
crappy
don't want to
zone.
be in the weird zone. You don't want to be in the weird zone. But in all the research that I've been doing on perimenopause and menopause women and cardiovascular training and where the biggest bang for your buck is, zone 2 followed by 1 to 2 sessions of true high intensity interval training, the whole session taking less than 28 minutes.
Yeah.
Because for women that are dealing with irregular hormones, cortisol, like spiking and dropping and all of that kind of stuff, we know that the high intensity interval training is going to support that the most to help support that loss of that stubborn belly fat that menopausal women are dealing with. But it also, like, I also wonder if it like resets something because it's a blood sugar dysregulation that we see most commonly for women in perimenopause and menopause.
So the high intensity interval stuff, it is extremely stressful for our system. Is something to just like pay attention to. And when we try and do that for multiple sessions a week, 45 minutes a session, right? That's a lot of like stress on the system.
Way down. Like
right?
when I work with clients, and that's like specifically what we're working on, they're like in that stage of life, and that's like I would say probably like 70% of my clients that I work with. I am always a stressor on those are sessions that you earn by managing your stress, managing your sleep, eating really well. You have to earn your right to be able to do them. Which sounds really bad, but like there's no better way to say it. Like if you aren't getting a good night's sleep, that's probably not the type of session you can do. Zone 2 would be better. A strength session would be better. If you are not managing your stress well, or work is really busy or really bad or really rough that week, like you don't want to be adding more wood to the fire when you're already like burning everything down. And that's how I see those workouts. One is great. 2 is cool. But like, if you're someone that's in that borderline, like you're going to get way more out of a really good quality zone 2 or a really good strength session than you are putting more stressors on your body until you start managing some of those other stressors.
Mm-hmm. I think there's something to a peak, like let's call it like the 4x4 Norwegian method, right? Of increasing VO2 max. 4 minutes of work, 3 minutes of rest, 4 minutes of work for 4 rounds, right? One time a week. And so I think there is something, even in a state of high stress, to really work hard at something for a period of time and then recover and then work
But
hard
this
for
is
a
like
little bit.
3 minutes is like full recovery though.
Yeah. I
Like
mean, you should be back
it's,
to baseline, right?
yeah.
Like this is not like work hard and then get to the next exercise and like keep it up. And then that's, I think, where people start running into trouble is like trying to hang out in this like really, really high zone for 45 minutes because it's too long
And
for you to
technically you
really
shouldn't
drive it
even,
high.
and you shouldn't be able to. You shouldn't be able to, if you're wearing a belt, and I'll just use my zone because I feel like everyone's the most familiar with the red color. If you can keep your heart rate in the red zone for an entire training session, you're not